Hey guys, welcome back to Hero TV. You know, there's a lot of different types of hero monsters out there. Besides elemental heroes, there's also destiny heroes, vision heroes, masked heroes, and neo-Spacians. But today we're going to talk about what's kind of a long-forgotten type, evil heroes. Before we get started, you should know that Hero TV will be at this year's World Championship Qualifier in Columbus, Ohio. Click the social networking links in the video description to follow our updates from the event. So let's talk about today's deck. Gladiator's Assault showed us a new way to fuse hero monsters, using Dark Fusion to take old combinations and make new evil versions. But it also unleashed a new hero powerhouse whose materials were merely Rock-type and Fiend-type monsters. That monster is Evil Hero Dark Gaia. Over the years, hidden gems in the hero arsenal extended their effects to include all hero monsters, including evil heroes. Now, when you're at an official event, you can just call a judge, and the judge will clear up any differences that you and your opponent have about what the correct text of the card is. But for those of you who are playing in a smaller field, you probably want to carry a print or a translation, even look up on your phone what the correct card text is. So who makes up our evil army? Well, we'll need 3 Elemental Hero Prisma, 3 Evil Hero Malicious Edge, 3 Effect Veiler, 3 Kawaki Maber Guardian, 2 Legendary Jujutsu Master, 1 Gore's Emissary of Darkness, a Sangan, a Neo-Spacian Grand Mole, and Elemental Hero Stratos. For spells, we'll use 3 Dark Fusion, 3 Dark Calling, 3 Miracle Fusion, 3 Mystical Space Typhoon, 2 Emergency Calls, 1 Monster Born, 1 Dark Hole, a Heavy Storm, Future Fusion, and Reinforcement of the Army. For traps, we'll use 3 Fiendish Chains. Now for the extra deck, we'll use 3 copies of Dark Gaia, 2 copies of the Shining, 2 Gaia, 2 Malicious Fiend, Nova Master, Great Tornado, Grand Neos, Utopia, Mystroke the Symphony Djinn, and Blade Armor Ninja. The text has been changed on all hero cards so that they are now uniform. That means you can even use Vision Hero and Masked Hero cards with your Evil Hero deck. Try Masked Hero Goka or Vision Hero Adoration. When you aren't finishing off opponents with a lucky swing, your focus should be negating your opponent's effects, loading up your graveyard with materials, battling monsters just like any other deck, and staying alive for a big finish. Remember, all the decks on Hero TV are starter recipes, so you can change the rocks and fiends out as you like. There are unlimited side deck options here. It's time to take this deck on the road. Thanks to the hero requirement of Stratos, you can start most duels by quickly adding an evil hero to your hand. For our deck, that means Evil Hero Malicious Edge. Dark Calling is great for easy summons, but look at Dark Fusion. It not only lets you summon powerful monsters, but those fusions can't be targeted by your opponent's card effects. Prisma lets you load up the graveyard with targets for Dark Calling, and substitutes its Malicious Edge for Dark Fusion. Dark Gaia's raw attack power and ability to avoid flip effects will amaze you time and time again. Sorry, Raiko. Time to take a look at your comments. Many of you wrote in asking how to get specific cards. Now, we may not be able to get to all of these in videos, but if you check your YouTube messages, we will always respond. Mr. Dexter7755 writes, Secret Village of the Spellcasters always used to get me down before I picked up Fusion Gates. I remember back then my hero deck was so dominant that my friends would build decks just so they could counter it. I've been there. Jet Shadowlord asks, for a hero deck, it includes Destiny hero decks? Actually, we're going to be covering a wide range of hero decks, some you may not have even heard of before, so stay tuned. Multicommon123 writes, Dude, GX for the win. You know it. ZoidBN0 writes, Am I the only one finding it ironic that he used Pokemon music in a video about Yu-Gi-Oh? We'll be putting the soundtrack up on youtube.com/Pharaohmone, so stay tuned. Card Hero AMT writes, This video was great, no doubt. Hero TV is the best in the world. Thank you, we appreciate it. Card Hero AMT also writes, Zombie monsters that destroy warrior types like Ryu Koki are hard to get by. Is there any way to stop their effects with Skill Drain? You have to play a hero deck that works with Skill Drain in order to get the best out of it. So pick something like Bubble Beat or Skill Drain heroes and you'll be good to go. DL Shot writes, Alright, thanks, I've used this deck, he means the Electrum deck, a couple of times on Dueling Network already, and won 2 out of 3 games. The one I lost was because I got a terrible hand, but you warned the viewers about that. We'll always try to give you tips for side deck options, but sometimes on that first duel, luck of the draw is all you have. Gizalag writes, Royal Oppression hurts my deck since I mostly rely on special summons. That's why I have a lot of Spell and Trap Destruction cards like R Righteous Justice, Mystical Space Typhoon, Heavy Storm. These get rid of my opponent's spell and traps that harm my monsters, so I can attack and use their effects. Right now, Royal Oppression is actually on the forbidden list, but using those type of spell and trap destruction cards will help you across the board no matter what. Nickel Dinho 95 writes, "This video helped me out so much, as I have an abundance of e-hero cards and I plan on making a deck out of them. It's really easy to find e-hero cards nowadays, what with the legendary GX collection, Raw Yellow Mega Pack, and some of the subsequent tin releases." Frank T89 asks, "What current or future Xyz monsters would you recommend for using in an elemental hero deck? Please respond, thank you." There's plenty to choose from. Besides Utopia and Blade Armor Ninja, you can also choose things like Maestroke and the brand new Heroic Champion Excalibur coming out soon. Marty McFly writes, "As for your first question, I was playing Tag Force 1 on the PSP when I started unlocking all these e-hero cards. First I just ignored them since I had never heard of them before, but eventually I started acquiring more and more elemental heroes. So I decided to read them all and give them a try. My first hero deck had cards like Avion and Burstinatrix, but since then I've come a long way. Well, honestly, if you've started since the beginning, Avion and Burstinatrix were probably your best choices, but as you can see now, we have many different heroes to choose from, and we'll be covering them all on the show." Frank T89 responds, "I started playing elemental heroes 3 years ago. My friends looked down on me, saying that they could beat me easily, and that was true at first, but now when my heroes assemble, they can take down anything. P.S. I really like that there's a whole network of fans for elemental heroes just like me. Thanks." Hero TV is glad that all of you are here to join us. That's what keeps the show going. Viewers like you. Otaku Artist writes, "You should do an episode on Neospacians as a classic hero build." You know, that sounds like a good idea for our next question. What kind of deck would you like to see on the next episode of Hero TV?